It is a windy and chilly Saturday afternoon here at Post University in Waterbury, Connecticut, as we welcome you to Lemoy Field for a big men's lacrosse CACC matchup here this afternoon. Talent littered all across the turf here today. Wilmington University in town with the 2025 CACC Player of the Year last year, Andrew Zubak, off to a great start here in 2026 with 23 goals. He and Josh Weston will look to lead the charge here for the Wildcats this afternoon as they come into town to play against the Post University Eagles led by Leighton Cook with 12 goals this season and Will Bryan. Those are the two headliners for the Eagles. Big CACC conference matchup here today between Post and Wilmington. So glad you're with us as we welcome you inside to the press box. Griffin Cass on hand. Windy and chilly day here at Lemoy. Massive lacrosse game on hand here between Post and Wilmington. Eagles come into this one 3-2 overall, 1-1 in conference. Just dropped a game at Bridgeport, 12-8, and prior to that they beat Georgian Court 11-10 here at Lemoy. So looking to get back on track. Wilmington has been on a great run here in the last several years. 4-3 record this season, 3-2 at home, 1-1 on the road, and they are the current number 1 seed in this early 2026 campaign with a 2-0 flawless record in conference. Eagles in the white uniforms, Wilmington in the green uniforms, ready to rock and roll here at Lemoy Field. So glad you're with us here. Again, Saturday afternoon, windy and chilly day here in mid-March. Daniel Flynn, the junior from New York, he will be in net for the Wildcats. And Aiden Waller gets the start in net for the Eagles. Ready to rock and roll here at Lemoy Field. So glad you're with us. Again, Griffin Cass on end here in the press box. Connor Widmer is going to take the faceoff here to start for Wilmington. Away we go. Wilmington has had the Eagles' numbers as the Eagles control the first draw with Will Bryan, sophomore here for the Eagles. And he gets called for a foul as soon as we start play. Wilmington across the restraining line. The Wildcats have had the Eagles' number in the last several years. They've won the last 8 meetings. 10th all-time meeting between the Wildcats and the Eagles here today. Eagles 1-8 all-time versus Wilmington. Last win came on April 8th, 2018 with a 9-5 win here at home. Cole Hamburger with it, wearing number 20 in green. Defended out front by Nick Gallery. Will look to make a move to his right and go right behind the net for Zubak. Again, watch 4 in green all day long. 54 goals, 28 assists last year. Carter Earl, errant pass intended for Josh Weston, and he'll scoop it up right behind the net. Hamburger 1-on-1. Shut off nicely there by Gallery. Worked around to Weston. Earl got the step. He'll bounce it, and it goes above the net, and it will sail out of play. Eagles ball. Eagles 1-1 here at Lemoy Field this season, 2-1 on the road. Looking to capture a big conference win against the Wildcats. Again, Wilmington 2-0 in conference here to start this season. Gabe Roman, wearing number 9 on the back of his jersey, swings it over to Ryan DeNike. DeNike leads the team in points this year, 19 points, 9 goals, 10 assists. Works it right behind the net, shut off nicely there. Leighton Cook leads the team in goals this year with 12. Wearing number 12 on the back of his jersey. Looks for the cutter, Cameron Maunders. Nice shot there, blocked by Flynn. Plenty of time to work with for the Eagles. Kyle Sawane in a straitjacket tries to get out of it and works it behind the net. Cook looks to swivel in. Shot blocked out of bounds by Flynn. Cook had 2 goals against Bridgeport in the 12-8 loss on the road. Shot clock reset to 60, and Cook will start play. Cook tripped up. Flag flies in, and the whistle will sound. So Julian Bucinski, the senior defender from Bel Air, Maryland, gets called for the slash. He'll be on the sideline here for the next minute. Man-up advantage for the Eagles. Will Bryan ball is in his stick. Second team all-conference selection last year as a freshman. Keegan Sawane works it around. Good passing here on the perimeter by the Eagles. Ball is hopping around into the stick of Cook. Now it's up top tonight. A great look at it, and it sails left. Up top with the Nike. So Wayne. Bryan had a notion, back-to-back out. 25 seconds remaining on the penalty here for Bucinski. And a turnover there momentarily. And we get a tie-up there and a foul called against the Eagles, so it'll be Wilmington ball. Good offensive possession there by the Eagles, able to accumulate 3 shots. Kyle Parker shares it. Dominique West looking to take Gallery off of the step. Parker works it right behind the net, one-on-one. A nice dodge, lets it rip off left. Runzer. Parker can now catch it cleanly, scoops it up. 22 to shoot. West. Great defense here to start by the Eagles. West gets the step, takes it behind the net with 5 to shoot. Does he realize it? Tries to charge his way in. And a shot clock violation on Wilmington, Eagles ball. Great defense there by Zubak, trying to scoop up the ground ball. And a caused turnover there by Wilmington. Great defense by Zubak, the senior. Again, 2025 CACC Player of the Year, set the single season record for Wilmington last year with 82 points. Eagles look to move it up along that left sideline across the midfield line. They go. And Zane Parento will try and settle it down here with the Nike. Andrew Grippo comes up to receive. Worked around to Cook. Edward Wesh, new addition to this year's team, a freshman. 32 to shoot. Nearly midway through this opening quarter. right out in front as Maunders tried to shovel that one in, and it goes out of play. Cameron Maunders has been a great addition to this year's team as a freshman. 12 points, and there goes Cook, firing and scoring to get the Eagles on the board first. Cook with his 13th goal of the season, and the Eagles strike first here at home. Draw is controlled by Widmer. Nearly has it poked free out of his stick, and Flynn comes to corral it. Eagles again looking for their first win against Wilmington in 8 years. Last win came on April 8th, 2018, as that ball will sail out of play. All for the shot from the senior midfielder, Tyler Quinn. Gavin Paraschek will reset things here for Wilmington with 60 on the shot clock. Have not seen Zubak with the ball in his stick very often here to start. That will, of course, change at some point as there's a shot by Zubak right on cue, goes out of play. 46 to shoot. Wesson trying to get the step, lost the ball, and scooped up by the Eagles. Gavin Lee was the one who scooped it up, has it knocked out of his stick. And John Karras able to pick it up. Ball is on the floor, picked up by the Eagles. Luke Karras, John's brother, and we get a flag flying in. It's going to go against Wilmington. Gallery scoops it up, swings it over to Cook, who just had the previous goal. Cook, a first-team CACC selection last year. This was a second-team all-conference selection last year as a freshman, Will Bryan, who's off to a great start in his sophomore year. Keegan Swain, sophomore from Parker, Colorado. Now Gabe Roman lets it rip off right. 624, remaining in the first quarter. Eagles off to a 1-0 start. So we get Ian Betts as the culprit for a slash 1 minute on the sideline. So second penalty here against Wilmington in this opening quarter. Eagles will look to capitalize, leading 1-0. Get a lot at stake here today. Eagles trying to hand Wilmington their first loss of the season in conference. 2-0 over the Wildcats in CACC play. Eagles 1-1. Again, beat Georgian Court last Saturday at home, 11-10, and lost to Bridgeport 12-8 on the road on Wednesday. There's a great shot and a great save by Flynn. Ball was rocketed at him, and he caught it right in his stick cleanly. Kyle Parker will look to shake a defender, and he does against Maunders and gets it across the midfield line. But watch by two. Take it along this near sideline. Max Runzer. Now Zubak. 54 goals last year, 23 here to begin this year. Cannell Ward looks to take Gallery off with the step. Gallery has been excellent in guarding the ball here to start. Offensive players not able to shake him very much, and here's Parker trying to wheel his way in. Ward. Ball hopping around here for Wilmington. Runzer, watched by two. Season opening. Oh, great cut there by Paraschuk, but couldn't catch it cleanly. And we get a whistle and a late one at that as Cannell was pummeled to the ground. And we'll get the official word right here. So I think unnecessary roughness is a call here against the Eagles, and it goes against John Karras, the sophomore, younger brother of Luke Karras. Karras brothers from Huntington Beach, California. First penalty goes against the Eagles, and Karras will be on the sideline here for the next minute. 4:45 remaining in this first quarter, just getting underway. Eagles with a 1-0 lead. Leighton Cook's 13th goal of the season has the Eagles out in front. And that is a turnover and picked up by William Henley III, the graduate student defender from Silver Spring, Maryland. Eagles off to a great start here this afternoon. Again, very windy and chilly Saturday afternoon here at Lemoy Field. So glad you could hang out for a couple hours here. Griffin Cast on hand here in the press box. Big time conference matchup here in men's lacrosse in the CACC. Both teams with winning records overall this year. Again, Wilmington 4-3 overall, Eagles 3-2. 2-0 are the Wildcats in conference, Eagles 1-1. Eagles currently the number 3 seed in the CACC standings. Wilmington the number 1 seed with a 2-0 flawless record. And again, just to spice things up even more, Eagles are looking for their first win against Wilmington in 8 years. They've lost the last 8 meetings, so hungry to break that losing streak here against the Wildcats. Off to a great start. Stop and go move by Grippo. Looks for Maunders right in front of the net, and we get a whistle. Or excuse me, 2 flags to get thrown up in the air, and play will be dead here with 3:16 to play in the first quarter. Penalties accumulating here for Wilmington to start in this first quarter. Julian Basinski, the second time he's been on the sideline. So slash is the call from the official. The Eagles will start with it in their attacking area and go right behind the net here for Cook. Eagles work it around the perimeter here. Patiently, plenty of time to shoot with 48 on the shot clock. There's a cutter. It's Maunders who fires and scores. Great pass by Cook. And Cameron Maunders gives the Eagles a 2-0 lead. His 8th goal of the season, Cook's 5th assist, and the Eagles rolling here to start at home. 2-0. An excellent cut there by Maunders, and Cook fed it to him right on the money. Eagles dominating the ground ball category here right now, 8-3. And Wilmington with it in past the restraining line. Earl goes behind the net. Aaron pass. And scooped up by the Eagles, their 9th ground ball. Zane Parento was able to grab that one. Karras in a little bit of trouble, and he nearly turns it over. Ball on the deck and scooped up by Wilmington. But we get a whistle and a foul called against Wilmington. I believe a push in the back prompted the whistle. Grippo. evade Zubak and will cross the midfield line with a burst of speed, and will settle it down here. Coming up on 2 minutes to play, first quarter, Eagles with a 2-0 lead. Solid crowd on hand here on this Saturday afternoon at Lemoy. It's super windy. You wonder how that will affect play out there on the field. Ball on the deck. Grippo trying to secure it. And Wilmington coming in swiftly, and the Eagles able to scoop it up with DeNike. He takes it along the near sideline. 22 to shoot. 80 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 12 to shoot. Cook has an opening and off right on the shot, and it goes out of play, Wilmington ball. Earl comes out onto the field, receives the pass from Flynn, and crosses the midfield line. Goal here would go a long way for Wilmington to end this first quarter. They could hold it for the final shot as Earl has other plans and shoots, and it sails over the goal. So into the stick of Zubak, and he'll swing it over here to Parker. 53 to shoot, 45 seconds remaining in the quarter. That one is spiked towards the net. And I believe we had a foul call there against Karras against Zubak. 33 seconds remaining, first quarter. Earl tries to shake his defender. Now Parker looking to get the step right behind the net for Zubak. Could not catch it cleanly. Eagles looking for the ground ball. William Henley III involved in it. And a whistle called on him with 17 seconds remaining in the first quarter. There's a firing shot, spikes, and sails above the net. .8 remaining here in the first quarter. Zubak trying to chisel his way in. He does, and it is blocked there by Waller out in front. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Eagles off to a great start in the first 15 minutes. Cook had the first goal. Maunders followed it by an assist from Cook. And the Eagles will go to the second quarter with a 2-0 lead here at home. Ready for the start of the second quarter here at Lemoy. Eagles off to a great start here in this one against Wilmington. 2-0 lead. Cook with a goal. Maunders with a goal. Eagles playing some stellar, gritty, and tough defense here to start. Question is, are they going to be able to sustain it for the full 60 minutes? In Wilmington last year, they have been dominant in recent years, spanning back about 7 to 8 years. They were 8-0 in conference last year, 11-5. They went to the CACC finals and lost. Eagles last year had a great season as well, 9-7 overall, 5-3 in conference. Last time these two teams matched up, it was a blowout 25-10 win for Wilmington on April 30th, 2025. Second quarter is underway as Wilmington able to control the draw. Need to get some momentum here offensively. Obviously, a long way to go. Down by 2. Eagles defense has certainly been stifling here to start in that first quarter. Feels like they've just done a nice job of speeding Wilmington up. As the Wildcats have just looked a little discombobulated offensively. One would think that they are going to get a little more cohesive as the game progresses. I think the officials are having a conversation about the shot clock, perhaps. Clock stopped at 14:35. So, yeah, the conversation was about the shot clock. Taking a look at our head coaches, Pat Iannarelli has done a great job with this program in his third year with the Eagles. Josh Weston is not the coach, but he's making a strong drive towards the cage and throws it out of bounds. Yeah, that's part of the discombobulation that we've noticed here from Wilmington offensively. They just don't look in sync on the offensive end. Led by Christian Swickert in his 9th season as a Wilmington head coach. Again, he's done a great job tonight with a great pass out in front, and it is Cook with his second goal of the game. Eagles rolling here to start. Great transition opportunity from the Eagles, and they take a 3-0 lead with 14:08 to play here in the first half. It feels like everything that could have gone right for Post here to start has gone right. Charlie Foster, the sophomore midfielder, will take the face-off for the Eagles, and that is won easily by Connor Widmer. Senior face-off guy for Wilmington. Wildcats need something to brew offensively. Eagles have done a nice job just shutting down their guys, specifically Andrew Zubak, as this is a great shot out in front, and it's scooped up there by Waller. Max Runzer, the junior midfielder, was trying to waste no time there and take matters into his own hands to get Wilmington on the board. And Aiden Waller, the sophomore, did a great job standing strong. 13:23 remaining in the second quarter. Cook with a great catch. Has already equaled his total in goals from the Bridgeport game. He's got 2. Here in this first half, had 2 of the 8 against Bridgeport on Wednesday. Brian does not see a defender coming from right behind him, and we get a whistle and a flag. What a play there by Tyler Quinn, the senior. Came out of nowhere, and Brian did not see him coming. So we get a personal foul, I believe, against Brian. Didn't see, yeah, it's against Will Brian. Didn't see exactly what happened there after the ball was hit out of his stick. But commits a penalty. He'll be on the sideline for the next 30 seconds. And a great caused turnover from Wilmington. Needed it badly. Zubak has got it. Earl working around the perimeter here. Zubak has a good look at it, fires and scores. The Conference Player of the Year last year makes his presence felt here in this one. And Wilmington, much needed goal. They're on the board, down 3-1. 24th goal of the season for Zubak. Again, 54 goals last year, 28 assists for 82 points. A historic season in his first year with Wilmington as a junior. First team all-conference selection last year, Conference Player of the Year. And he is a headliner coming into this one for Wilmington, and he gets their first goal. 12.5 remaining in this first half. Quinn bursts of speed. Ian Betts. Right back to Zubak. Oh, spin, fire, miss it off right. And that goal has given the Wilmington sideline a jolt of energy. Just cannot stress how important that was. They had a poor offensive showing in that first quarter and a big-time goal to get them on the board. Earl loses the ball. Fight for it. Eagles come away with it. And Rob Torelli gets smacked to the ground, and another ground ball here. Zubak is involved for Wilmington. Eagles able to scoop it up. Luke Harris, the junior, and the Eagles will look to run in transition. 11:37 remaining in the second quarter. Zane Parento, watched closely by Hamburger. Maunders has one of the 3 Eagles goals. Tonight, watched closely by Quinn. Goes behind the net for Cook. Ball is hopping around here into the stick of Bryan. Trying to chisel his way in. Spikes it, and it goes above the cage. Out of bounds with 36 on the shot clock. Under 11 minutes to play. Second quarter. 3-1 Eagles lead. Grippo. Ball hopping around here into the stick of Cook. His shot goes out of play. Get a shot clock reset here, back to 60. Roman tries to shake and bake. His shot was off right. It was nearly deflected and ricocheted in by a Wilmington player. I believe that hit off of Bucinski. Ball goes out of play. Eagles retain it, 50 to shoot. Denike will jog behind the net. Brendan McDonald is watching him back up top. Cook has an opening. Shot is off left. Nice deflection there by Flynn. And a shot clock reset to 60. Maunders, watched by Quinn. We'll back it out here and reset things for the Eagles. 40 to shoot. Plenty of time. Maunders tries to get the step. He's tangled to the ground, and flags fly in the air. And a brouhaha developing, a lot of pushing and shoving after the whistle. And the officials will get in the middle and try and sort it all out. Maunders involved there for the Eagles. Conference matchup, it's going to be chippy without a doubt. Two teams with big aspirations and big goals for this season. Scoring off for the first time this year. Certainly going to be chippy, going to be physical. And the officials will sort it all out here, and we'll get in official wording with 9:32 remaining in the second quarter. So 1 minute for Patrick Crutchfield with a body check and 30 seconds for Tyler Quinn with the hold, as he was the one that yanked Maunders to the ground. So a big call there. Big advantage here for the Eagles with 9:32 remaining in the second quarter. Trying to regain a 3-goal lead. So Crutchfield will be back out here in 18 seconds. Ball skips towards the sideline, a foot race for it. Another flag flies in the air. I believe it is against Will Bryan. Delay a game penalty called on Bryan, so he'll be on the sideline for the next 30 seconds. 9:07 to play, second quarter, 3-1 Eagles lead. Cook has got 2 goals. Maunders has 1 for the Eagles. And on the Wilmington side, Zuback with his 24th goal of the season has the lone one here for Wilmington. Thirteen more seconds for Bryan on the sideline. Zuback, Parker at the top. Earl had a notion. Back to even strength. Paraschek took his eye off of the ball there, but Wilmington able to regain it. 35 to shoot, so plenty of time. Earl, nice move and shoots it above the cage out of bounds. 25 to shoot. Betts right behind the net, one-on-one with Gallery. Tries the wraparound, looking for the cutter out in front was Paraschek, not there. And Earl goes to the midfield line to regain it. 15 to shoot. Earl bursts of speed. He'll let it rip, and it's deflected by Waller. It will sail to midfield, and it'll be scooped up there by Parker. And a complete shot clock reset to 80, now at 72. Parker spins, feeds, right here for Hamburger. Shot whipped off right. That was Carter Berry, the sophomore attack from Ontario. And I believe we get a timeout called on the field by the Eagles with 7:23 to play here in the second quarter. Great game thus far. Eagles with a 3-1 lead. Coming out of the timeout, taking a quick look at our team stats, 15-14 in total shots in favor of the Eagles. Ground balls, Eagles 15, Wildcats 11. Shots on goal 6-4 for Post, and it's a 3-1 Eagles lead here with 7:23 remaining in the second quarter. Sun's starting to peek through a little bit. Again, conditions are windy and chilly. Saturday afternoon here in mid-March. Again, so glad you're with us, able to hang out for a few hours. Big men's lacrosse conference matchup here in the CACC. There's a turnover by Wilmington, goes out of bounds beyond the end line, and the Eagles will take over. Under 7 minutes remaining here in the first half. Bryant bursts of speed. Tries to hit the brakes there and will share it over to, I believe, Maunders. Yes. Bryant faked the handoff there to Denight, trying some trickery. Denight. Cook behind the net, 30 to shoot. Denick is at the top, one-on-one with Parker. 12 to shoot. 7, 6. Denick looking for an opening, and he'll swing it up top, and it'll go out of play. Turnover by Post. Great defensive stand there by Wilmington, and they're fired up after the stop. Parker across the midfield line. And Wilmington will look to settle it in the attacking area, but it was poked free and scooped up momentarily by Post. We'll get a whistle and I believe a hold against Luke Harris. We'll resume play. 5:28 to play, second quarter. Josh Weston with a burst of speed. Zuback. Ball goes on the deck, and Waller scoops it up. Eagles calls a big turnover right there. Waller will go back to Karras. Send a long touchdown pass ahead to Maunders. It is completed. And a timeout called by Post with 5:01 to play here in the second quarter. Eagles with a 3-1 lead and a great start here in this first half. Out of the Eagles timeout, talking things over, looking to regroup a little bit. 5:01 to play second quarter. They have a 3-1 lead. Some big-time goal scorers coming into this matchup, but the goals have been fairly limited here thus far. We'll see if the goal scoring certainly opens up as the game progresses, but defense has been a constant, and toughness has been a constant from both teams. Definitely expected I don't know, low scoring, but a ton of toughness. There is a goal right there. It's Cook with his third of the game. Wide open right in front of the net, and Cook, easy shot and an easy goal. His third of the game and his 15th of the season. Eagles back up 3. Whitmer tries to control the draw. Ball on the deck. Eagles have just been the quicker team getting to the ground balls, and Wilmington able to knock it free, and Earl picks it up. Excuse me, no, Whitmer, pardon me. Paraschek got the step there on Karras momentarily and backs it out here for Quinn. Big-time offensive possession here for Wilmington. Down 3 once again. Zubak has the lone Wilmington goal. He's got a lot of them here in his 1.5-year career with Wilmington. Nearly poked free. It is poked free. Ball is on the deck. Eagles, another ground ball. Goes to their favor. Cook across the midfield line. Pardon me, that's not Cook. That's Parento. Right out in front, Cook once again. That one deflected out of play there by Flynn. Shot clock resets to 50. Keegan Swain works it back up top. Eagles have just been the team today that feels like just has played harder. All the ground balls, I wouldn't say all, but a good portion of them are going in their favor. As this is Brian trying to go right to the cage, and it's stripped away. Great play there by Julian Baczynski. And Wilmington in transition. 2:45 remaining in the first half. Quinn lets it rip, and it's off left. Big next 2 minutes and 40 seconds of this first half. The Eagles trying to keep Wilmington at bay here with a 3-goal lead, and Wilmington trying to gain some momentum offensively going into half number 2. They were able to get it down to 2. That would be a huge momentum shift for them going into halftime. Hamburger. Betts works it around. Earl had a notion, spins, loses the ball. Scoops it back up. 35 to shoot. West bounces it out of play. Eagles defenders here have just been difficult to shake. .25 to shoot. Up top with Earl. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. He gets a step and shovels it way out of play. Stays here with Wilmington, 15 to shoot. Paraschek. Carter Berry right behind the net. Tries to shake and bake. Feeds a cutter there right out in front. And Wilmington in the crease. It'll be Eagles ball with 1:37 to play here in the first half. Karras swings it ahead for Torelli, and he crosses the midfield line. So Wayne, Eagles in no need to hurry here. 53 to shoot, 109 remaining in the first half. and a 3-goal lead, up 4-1. So Wayne, 28 to shoot. So Wayne spins. Shot was deflected into the hands of Cook. Shot is saved by Flynn. 25 seconds remaining in the first half. Quinn looking for a burst of speed. He's got Green out in front of him across the midfield line. Has a defender on his hip. Ball knocked out. And the whistle sounds, and it will be Eagles ball with 11.6 remaining. Shot right on net. Maunders off left. Goes behind the end line. 5.8 remaining in the first half. And that is not going to do. We still have 9/10 of a second remaining. And that'll do it for the first half. Eagles with a dominant first half of play. Leighton Cook leading the way with 3 goals. And Post will take a 4-1 lead as we have hit halftime here at Lemoy. Back here at Lemoyne, getting ready for the start of the second half. Taking a look at our first half stats. Eagles out to a dominant first half of play. 3-1 in assists, 20-17 in total shots, 8-4 in shots on goal. Ground balls, Eagles dominating that category, 21-14, and they have a 4-1 lead as we're ready to start the second half of play. Eagles will move left to right. Wildcats will move right to left. Wilmington certainly seems energized after halftime. 2-0 conference record on the line here in jeopardy with the Eagles up 4-1. And the second half, we're underway. Ball on the deck. Tyler Quinn tries to scoop it up. And I think we had somebody crossing there on the Eagles side, crossing the restraining line, and it'll be Wilmington ball to begin the third quarter. Again, Wilmington 4-3 overall. Eagles 3-2. Eagles 1-1 in conference. Currently the number 3 seed in the CACC standings. Wilmington is the 1 seed in the CACC standings at 2-0, trying to stay perfect here in conference. Josh Weston tripped up. No whistle is called. Ball on the deck, scooped up by Earl. Eagles have shown toughness on the defensive end all half long. Can they sustain that here in the second half? Weston, 12 goals on the year. Earl hits the brakes, trying a flurry of moves there, unable to shake Kyle Such. And a shot and a save there by Waller. Eagles will look to run in transition. Cook had 3 goals for the Eagles in the first half to get to 15 on the season. Denika's got it. Cook is on the near side. Cam Maunders had the other goal for the Eagles and assisted by none other than Leighton Cook. 2025 All-Conference first-team selection. They've done a great job of stifling Wilmington's offense here and stifling the reigning Conference Player of the Year in Andrew Zubak. He has got the lone goal for Wilmington. So Wayne looks for a shake and bake. .30 to shoot for posts. 2 minutes gone. It's third quarter. Windy and chilly Saturday afternoon here at Lemoyne Field, but the sun has creeped through. 15 to shoot. Tonight, Hopstep works back out, goes behind the net here for Bryan. Looks for a wraparound move, potentially spins, evades, shoots, and it's deflected. And into the stick of Wilmington here. It's Brendan McDonald that moves it in transition for Wilmington. Parker comes to receive a pass. Wilmington, again, just not able to generate a lot of stuff offensively. And a shot, a score. Wilmington on the board here first in the second half. None other than Zubak. 25th goal of the season. He's got both of them here for Wilmington. And they start off the way that they needed to here in the second half. Just had to be the one that got the goal first here in the third quarter. They do just that, and momentum back on their side. Tonight tries to earn it right back, and it sails over the net out of play. Zubak again, 23 goals coming into today. He's got both of them for Wilmington. 54 last year in his junior year to help him win the CACC Player of the Year, and up to 25 now on a great pace here to begin 2026. Coming into this one, Eagles have scored 57 goals as a team. They've given up 54. Wilmington, on the other hand, a much better margin. They've scored 95 and have only given up 51. 4-2 Eagles here, as Wesh was hounded there and gets it over here to Brian, the sophomore. Got a second-team all-conference selection last year, maneuvering to his left. Tonight couldn't catch the pass. Ball on the deck. Fight for it, and that is a great scoop up there by Julian Basinski, and Wilmington has got the momentum here to begin the third quarter. Now with the ball in their attacking area, trying to get within one. This is Ward with it at the top. Looks like he's getting instructions from the coaching staff. Runcer looking to make a move, draws two defenders and goes behind the net. Zubak out in front, shot. Goes out of play, and the Eagles will take over. Last touch out of bounds by Wilmington. Waller has got it. Nearly 5 minutes gone, third quarter. Eagles get it across the midfield line. Edward Wesh, the freshman. Another freshman here, Mollanders, two great additions to this Eagles team. Second conference game of the season here at Lemoy for the Eagles. Again, the first one was last Saturday against Georgian Court, 11-10 victory. 9:30 to play here in the third. Eagles, there is a possible turnover. It is, as it is scooped up by Kieran Gupta. And Wilmington in transition. Gupta bursts of speed across the midfield line, and he'll settle it down here and hit the brakes. Wilmington, a much better showing here thus far in the second half than they had in the first half. They look more complete. They look more in sync. A little discombobulated at times in that first half, but they look a lot more complete here to begin the second half. Weston behind the net, worked around. Zubak. Earl had a notion. Now he'll fire and score! Big time goal for Earl. And Wilmington within one, storming back here to start the second half. Earl with his 10th goal of the season, now into double figures in goals for the year. And Wilmington looking dangerous here to begin the third. Big draw control here. It is controlled by the Eagles momentarily as Foster is pummeled to the ground. Ball on the floor. Eagles able to get to the ground ball. But Gavin Lee throws it right out of bounds. And the Wilmington sideline is juiced up. A ton of energy. Their sideline is electric. Eagles, on the other hand, without the momentum on their hands, a little silent on their sideline. West, right out in front. Zubak fires and scores. It's all Wilmington here to begin the third. Down 4-1 going into the second half, and they get three quick goals here in a 7-minute span to tie it up at 4-4. Three goals for the reigning conference player of the year and counting. tell of two halves here thus far in the second half. I mean, the script has been completely flipped. Wilmington looks like a different team here in the second half. And the momentum continues to build as they are awarded possession with 7:47 to play in the third. Looking to secure their first lead of the game. Down 2-0, pardon me, after the first quarter. Eagles were able to outscore Wilmington 2-1 in the second quarter, took a 4-1 lead going into halftime, and 3 goals in 7 minutes for Wilmington right out of the gates has tied this game up at 4-4. Zubak, wears number 4 on the back of his jersey. He's looking for his 4th goal here in this one. Now it's Hamburger with Earl. And Zubak with 3 goals. Earl has 1. Hamburger. Great save there by Waller. That was a long shot. And Waller able to vacuum it in. Eagles, desperate need of a big jolt of energy. Who will be able to make a big play here for the Eagles on the offensive end? Cook has 3 of the 4 goals. He's right behind Bryan. And they will fake the handoff right here. Bryan has got it. 6:15 remaining in the third. Cook has a one-on-one matchup here with McDonald. Backs it out to the far sideline. 32 to shoot. Shakes and bakes. Got the step. Fires! And missed. It hit the back of the net. It looked like it went in as the net shook. And Quinn with a burst of speed across the midfield line. Goes right behind the net. That swings it up top for Parker. Runcer comes out onto the field and receives a pass. Gallery will defend. Runcer moving to his right. Now this is Ward. He gets to his right hand. Betts spins again, and works it back up top. 32 to shoot, still plenty of time for Wilmington. There's a shot and a score. It is Max Runcer, the junior, to give Wilmington a 5-4 lead. A different team here in the second half. And a timeout called, a much-needed one by Post. Wilmington 4, Post 0 here in the third quarter. And Wilmington has their first lead of the game at 5-4. Coming out of a much-needed timeout for Post, trying to slow down this avalanche that has occurred to begin the third for Wilmington. Down 4-1 going into the third quarter. They've scored 4 goals in a row to take a 5-4 lead. It's their first lead of the game, 5:06 to play in the third. And Wilmington just on a roll here in the second half. It's been a completely flipped script from half number one to half number two. It's all Eagles in the first half. It's all Wildcats in the second half thus far as they control the draw there with Widmer, and he has it poked free out of his stick. Big cause turnover for the Eagles. Gavin Lee able to scoop it up. Brian across the restraining line looking for a cutter. It's Cook. Oh, what a save! Deflected out of bounds by Flynn, and it will be Wilmington ball. Cook had a point-blank looked for his fourth goal of the game, and Flynn denied it. Earl is one-on-one with William Henley. Doesn't give it to Hamburger. He's got the step on Henley. Takes it behind the net. Looks for a wraparound, spins, fires. Deflected there by Waller. Great save. Scooped up by Karras. That is John Karras, that is, but it's taken right back. And Waller falls on the ball and secures it for post with 3:55 remaining in the third. Thrown ahead for Kyle Such, the graduate student from Newington, Connecticut, nearly has it poked free. He is in a straitjacket, throws it away into the stick of Businski. The defense has ramped up for Wilmington. Post was the tougher team in the first half. Out in front, Zubak, too easy. Wilmington putting on a clinic here in the third. Their fifth goal of the quarter, and they take a 6-4 lead after trailing 4-1 entering the half. Four goals for Zubak, and Wilmington with a 2-goal lead. Big draw control right here. It is controlled by Wilmington, but Runcer has it poked free out of his stick by Gavin Lee, and that's a great play by Lee. Eagles will secure possession. A great assist on the previous goal by Tyler Quinn, making that extra pass. And Zubak, fourth goal of the game, his 27th of the season. And Wilmington is on quite a ride here in the third quarter. Outscoring the Eagles 5-0 in the quarter. There's a shot that was whipped by Cook, goes out of play. 49 to shoot on the shot clock, 2:50 remaining in the third. Eagles in desperate need of a goal, just can't overstate it. And there's a turnover right there that is not going to help, as Wilmington will get it across the midfield line. Felt like that was such an important offensive possession for the Eagles, and they give it away with 2:24 remaining in the third. Need a stop here for your post. Cannot let this thing get out of hand here. Down by 2, of course, still very manageable, especially with all the time left, but need to get a stop here. Ward tries to bully his way in. He'll let one fire, and it'll go beyond the end line out of play. Zubak stumbles and regains his footing here and finds Parker, who finds Ward, who finds that is West, looking for a cutter. Zubak was the one who was cutting. One-on-one here with Such. Makes him fall. Finds a cutter right out in front. And I believe Wilmington in the crease, so it'll be Eagles ball. Huge stop there by Post. .125 remaining in the third. Can't understate how big of a goal here, how long of a way a goal here would go if you are Post, as there is a near turnover. It is a turnover as it goes out of play. Last touch, Eagles. Again, Eagles were so good in the first half. They looked connected, in sync. They were the tougher team, and it is a completely flipped script here in the third quarter. Wilmington has been the team that has been super connected and in sync. They have been way tougher. They've gotten to all the 50-50 balls and have gotten a lot of ground balls here in this third quarter. Parker goes behind the net. Zuback is hounded there, has it knocked out of his stick, able to regain it. 50 to shoot. 40 seconds remaining in the third. Whips a shot, and it hits Parker. Picks it up. Hits the brakes, still behind the net. Has Weston right there, and it's worked up top to Ward. 27 seconds remaining in the third. Ward has got the step. He rips it and scores. Sixth goal of the third quarter for Wilmington, and that goes in with 24.5 seconds remaining in the quarter. Eagles unable to stop this avalanche. 6-0 Wilmington in the third quarter. Draw control right here. Wilmington trying to get to the ball, and they do just that. A great play by Tyler Quinn. They have been all over the ground balls here in the third quarter, just playing with a ton of toughness, trying to add to the avalanche here as that ball is hit up in the air, and that will take us to the end of the third quarter. Eagles had a 4-1 lead coming into the quarter, and we will go to the fourth with Wilmington ahead 7-4. A heavy avalanche rained down here at Lemoy Field in that third quarter for Wilmington. 6 goals in the quarter. As we take a look at our scoring summary as we are ready to start the fourth quarter, it was 2-0 Post at the end of the first quarter, 2-1 Post in the second quarter. They took a 4-1 lead coming into the second half, and Wilmington with I don't think dominant is the right word to justify how good they were in that third quarter. They outscored the Eagles 6-0 in the third quarter to take a 7-4 lead as we are ready to start the fourth. Do the Eagles have a comeback in them? Are they able to find what was so successful in that first half and put it on display here in the fourth quarter and make a nice comeback? Or is it going to be more of Wilmington from that third quarter? They control the opening draw in the fourth quarter. A alarming statistic, I feel like, if you're a Post, is they were up 21-14 in the ground ball categories coming into the quarter. Now it is 28-26 Wilmington in ground balls. Wilmington certainly has been a team that's just they've played tougher in the second half and have played a lot harder, as Weston will look to make a move and he'll fire a shot, and it continues from the third quarter. Wilmington able to pick up right where they left off. And they score with 41 seconds into the fourth quarter, and they take an 8-4 lead. That 8-4 lead, that is 7 consecutive goals for the Wildcats. And this thing is starting to get out of hand. Weston, his first goal of the game, his 13th of the season, and an 8-4 Wilmington lead. A full-on wrestling match for the ground ball. For the draw control, it's picked up by the Eagles. And possession awarded to Wilmington. Didn't see what transpired right there. Might have been a personal foul on the Eagles. As Wilmington takes it across the midfield line, flag flies in. It's going to go against Post. A little over a minute gone here in the fourth. Save made there by Waller, and we'll get the call here going against the Eagles. Didn't see who they got for the foul. So we get offsides there called on the Eagles. They get Chase Thondel and I believe Gavin Lee as well. So 30 seconds on the sideline for the penalty. We resume play with 13:50 remaining in the fourth. 7 unanswered goals here by Wilmington. It's just been a onslaught here by the Wildcats ever since the start of the third quarter. 7 consecutive goals looking to add to the run. Zubac's right out in front. Parker off left on the shot. Nearly 2 minutes gone in the fourth. Nice juke move there by Parker. Goes behind the net here for Betts. Earl, fake spin. Zubac, shot, saved by Waller. Eagles look to move it in transition. Gallery across the midfield line. Can they get something going here offensively in the second half? Great ball movement here, and it ends up in the stick of Maunders, and he puts it into the back of the net to end the 7-0 Wildcats run. Big goal there for the Eagles. Ball was hopping around, and the Eagles able to get the momentum momentarily back on their side. Down 3, 12:42 remaining in the fourth. Still a long way to go here in this one, and that was much needed for Post. So Cook and Maunders, the only 2 goal scorers for the Eagles here today. Cook has 3, Maunders now has 2, and the draw is controlled by Widmer. throws it nearly out of play. It does go out of play. And a turnover right there. Eagles will take control of possession. DeNike tries to shake a defender, takes it behind the net. Now Cook. 50 to shoot. A lot of time here for the Eagles. Big offensive possession. Just scored a goal, trying to get back within 2. Cook taking matters into his own hands. Blocked and deflected and saved by Flynn. McDonald ahead. Eagles able to slow the transition opportunity a little bit here for Wilmington, and it's behind the net for Zubak. 11:35 remaining in the fourth. 60 on the shot clock for Wilmington, and no need to hurry. Cutter sails to that far sideline. Trying to scoop up the ground ball is Cole Heinold, and unable to do so. Turnover there by Wilmington. Eagles will take over with 11:15 remaining in the fourth. Sun has vanished behind a cloud here. 8-5 Wilmington lead coming up on 11 minutes to play in regulation. So I think we got a flag up in the air. And we are going to get a penalty on Andrew Zubak. 30 seconds on the sideline. Was unable to see what the reigning Conference Player of the Year did. But he's on the sideline here for the next 21 seconds. Can the Eagles take advantage here quickly? DeNike at the top, worked around here to Maunders. DeNike has an open shot. He'll let it rip and sails over the cage out of play with 10:41 to play here in the fourth. 2-1. Zubak is out of the penalty, and there's a shot in the score. It's Cook. Fourth goal of the game. Back-to-back goals for the Eagles brings them back within 2. Tremendous back-to-back goals for the Eagles, and they are right back within striking distance here, down by 2. Draw is controlled by Wilmington. Great job there by Aiden Vichadomini. Zubak in no hurry. If you're Wilmington, coming up on 10 minutes to play in the fourth, 2-goal lead. You are trying to take away as much time as possible here. Ward has a goal here in this one. Moving to his right, lost the ball, and it's on the deck. Who hit it last? They say post, and it'll stay here with Wilmington with 45 seconds on the shot clock. So Cook, again, just had his 4th goal of the game. DeNike assisted it. And there's an errant pass, a bad turnover for Wilmington. Parker threw it out of play, and the Eagles will come back storming with a little bit of momentum here. There was no option for the Eagles. Down 8-4 after that first goal to begin the fourth by Wilmington. They had to come back and surge with some offense, and they were able to get back-to-back goals here to bring them within 2. Got out of hand a little bit with 7 consecutive goals by Wilmington. Eagles able to weather the storm a little bit here, bring themselves back down 2. 9:12 to play here in the fourth. It is Denike with the ball in his stick. .30 to shoot. Brian spins and whips it out of play. .20 to shoot. Eagles retain possession. 8:35 to play in the fourth. Shot clock is down to 9. And Cook has got it right here. Down to 3. Down to 2. Eagles are not going to be able to get off a shot, and that's going to be a shot clock violation on post, and we get a little pushing and shoving after the whistle. Cook involved there. McDonald was involved there with Wilmington, and they get across the midfield line here coming up on 8 minutes to play in the fourth. 70 on the shot clock. Wesson, a straight line drive to the cage, and he puts it in the net. Ends the 2-0 Eagles run and gets momentum back on the Wilmington side with 7:54 to play in the fourth. Josh Wesson with next level speed, straight line drive, and Wilmington up 9-6. Fight for the ball. 3 Eagles in there, 3 Wildcats in there, and possession awarded to post. Eagles' last home game for them until April 4th. They will go on the road for a 5-game road trip following the conclusion of this one. 2 of those 5 games will be against conference opponents. 3, of course, non-conference. Cook goes behind the net, right out in front. Ball will sail towards the midfield line, past the restraining line, and the Eagles will retain it. We're under 7 minutes to play here in the fourth. Eagles down 3. Brian shoves the defender out of the way and works it up top here for Roman. He'll let one fire and sails past the end line out of play with 27 on the shot clock. Denike has got it. Mahonders tries to set a screen. Has it right here after Denike was blitzed. He'll chisel in, fire, and they say he was in the crease. Wilmington ball, 6.5 to play in the fourth. Patrick Craig hounded there, and they reset it up top here with Earl near the midfield line. Weston comes out onto the field. In no hurry, if you are Wilmington, try and dwindle this shot clock down as much as possible. 47 seconds remaining as Betts has other plans. Goes into the stick of Weston. He lets one rip, and that will deflect out of play. Eagles ball. An errant pass goes right into the stick of Craig, And a costly bad turnover there by the Eagles. Needed to have the ball there, down 3 with 5 minutes and change remaining, and they give it right back. Zubac in no hurry. .50 to shoot. Earl, one-on-one. Nice dodge. Moving to his right, trying to chisel his way in. He does. Oh, what a play! Major highlight for Earl. Goes behind his back, behind his head, and scores to put Wilmington up 10-6. What a play. That was saucy. His second goal of the game, and Wilmington, still time left, but they are starting to celebrate a little bit. So Eagles are down 8-4, able to get back-to-back goals to bring them within 2, but then back-to-back goals by Wilmington has got the lead back to 4 for the Wildcats. Trying to improve to 3-0 in conference and get their 9th consecutive win against the Eagles in the all-time history. As there's a clear push right in front of the official by Swain, and we'll get a foul, and it'll be Wilmington possession with 4:40 remaining in the fourth. Runcer and Parker playing catch. Now Parker goes to the other side for West. Under 4 minutes to play. Pass intercepted there by Lee. An errant pass by Runcer. Lee will take it the other way, and the Eagles will move in transition. Down 4. Time is dwindling down. 3:45 to play in the fourth. And a timeout called by the Eagles sideline with 3:42 remaining in regulation. Wilmington 10, post 6. Out of the Eagles timeout, 3:42 to play here in the fourth. A 4-goal lead here for Wilmington, up 10-6. 9 goals here in the second half for the Wildcats. They accumulated 1 in the first half. All Eagles in the first half, all Wildcats here in the second half. Feels like a different game from half number 1 to half number 2. Half number 1 was its own separate game. Half number 2 is a different type of game. And Wilmington, 3 minutes and 15 seconds away from moving to 3-0 in conference. Super entertaining game. Would love to see these two teams match up down the line in the conference tournament. Maunders is held up and fouled there. It's going to go against Wilmington. Believe we got a hold there on Julian Basinski. No, so it's actually on Brendan McDonald. Zoom play with 2:52 remaining in the fourth. DeNike and Bryan playing catch. Go to the other side here and back behind the net. DeNike has an open look, fires and scores. Great shot. DeNike, his first goal of the game. He has 2 assists to go along with it. And that is his 10th goal of the season to bring the Eagles within 3. So anticipated coming into this game, or maybe not anticipated is the right word, but a lot of talent littered across the field here in this matchup with guys at the top of the conference in goals, points, assists. Thought that today might have a lot of goal scoring. It didn't have it in the first half, but boy, it has picked up in the second half for sure. 5 goals totaled in that first half. It was 4-1 Eagles coming into the second half, and now it is 10-7 Wilmington. The offense certainly opened up, picked up for both teams, especially, of course, Wilmington here in the second half. Coming up on 2 minutes to play. Ball knocked free, picked up by McDonald, and he'll send it ahead for Betts. 2 minutes to play here in the fourth. Wilmington starting to celebrate a huge conference win here at Lemoy Field. Eagles will be at Point Park University in Pennsylvania on Wednesday for a 2 p.m. start. Again, that is the first game of a 5-game road trip. And the Eagles trying to put the pressure on here with Earl running into Waller. The net is wide open, and Earl will surge to there. Nearly turns it over. Ball on the deck towards the end line. Betts scoops it up and calls timeout. 1:27 to play here in the fourth. Wilmington up 10-7. It's going to be a Wildcats huge win. And they will move to 3-0 in conference in 87 seconds. Out of the Wilmington timeout, the 1:27 to play here in the fourth quarter. 10-7 Wilmington lead. They are going to move to 5-3 overall in the season. 3-0 in conference. Eagles going to drop to 3-3 overall and 1-2 in conference. Again, Eagles going to start a 5-game road trip at Point Point Park University on Wednesday for a 2 p.m. start time. And another timeout called here by Wilmington. Wilmington taking a look at their road ahead, as we'll say on air here. They will be playing at home versus, or not at home, they'll be against Frostburg State at Johns Hopkins University on Wednesday for a 5 p.m. start. And then it is conference play the rest of the way for them. They will be playing at home for a 3-game homestand against Chestnut Hill on Saturday the 21st, Saturday the 28th, and then Saturday the 4th, they'll be against Chestnut Hill. Saturday the 21st. On the 28th, it will be against Felician, and on the 4th, it will be against Bridgeport. As we are ready to step back out here for the final 121 in the fourth quarter. Again, this Wilmington program has been dominant over the last several years. They've been dominant against the Eagles. They're going to get their 9th consecutive win against Post. So Eagles are going to have to wait to try and get that first win against Wilmington since April 8th, 2018. Lane Cook with 4 goals to lead the way for the Eagles. Andrew Zubak with 4 goals to lead the way for Wilmington. The two leaders in goals for their respective teams lead the way here today. Cook and Zubak certainly the two biggest headliners for their respective teams coming into today, and they showed out on the offensive end as anticipated as the Eagles caused a turnover right there. Final minute to play here in the fourth. Henley the third throws it ahead. Great pass there for Gallery. And he loses the ball. Basinski picks it up, sends it ahead, and it's into the stick of Zubak with 45 seconds remaining in the fourth. Dodges a defender. Not looking to get off a shot here with 35 seconds remaining. A 3-goal deficit at halftime did not deter the Wildcats whatsoever. As we get a whistle and a flag thrown in against the Eagles with 9.4 remaining. So it'll be Will Bryan on the sidelines with a penalty. And Wilmington, a 3-goal deficit did not deter them at halftime whatsoever. They will come away with a 3-goal win. Final score, Wilmington 10, Post 7. As this war of attrition is won by Wilmington. Stayed the course, did not panic at halftime, and they come away with a massive win. Again, Wilmington will move to 3-0 in conference. Eagles drop to 1-2. Eagles drop to 500 overall at 3-3, and Wilmington moves to 5-3 overall. For our entire athletic communication staff here at Post University, Griffin Cass signing off from Lemoyne.